Granular synthesis can literally take your music to the next level. I remember first discovering what granular synthesis was on a Discord call with a friend, and my mind was just absolutely blown, which is probably why I use it in every single track. And it just breaks audio into tiny pieces, also called grains, and those grains get rearranged and processed to create some interesting sounds. Okay, so I have this intro to a track. It's one of my most sentimental tracks, and this is what it sounds like. I might finish it one day and release it, but don't get your hopes up. And this is one of my favorite granular plugins. We'll apply it to the piano. It's called Crystallizer, and this is what it looks like. So it's like a pitch shifting granular echo plugin, and you can get some amazing results with it. Now, before you go and look this up and be like, ooh, a new shiny plugin, go watch my last video, please. But anyway, we've applied this to the piano, and we can get some really amazing textures with this plugin. Beautiful. And you can play with these parameters here to get different results. So if we wanted to, we could take this pitch and pitch it up by 1200 cents, and this is going to pitch it up by an octave, obviously. You can turn the recycle all the way up, for example, and get some really weird stuff. Crazy. So I'm just going to choose a random preset. Let's see how it sounds. In my opinion, the best way to use a plugin like this is to automate the mix knob, because then you actually have more control over the sound, because obviously this can get really messy. So what if we just go and create an automation clip for the mix? You just hear that, and there's literally a million ways that you could go with this. So now we have this riser that just kind of rises up, and I mean, that's not the only way to use the Crystallizer. We could also use it to fill up this very empty color-based track. I think there's a couple layers that we can add, and to do that we can use Crystallizer. So what I like to do is make a basic sine pluck and then make an ARP out of it. Something like that. Of course, once again, we can apply the Crystallizer, maybe this one. Now we can render this out, and we can use a part of this to fill up the drop a little bit and add some texture to it. So maybe this part right here. I'm literally just going to layer this under all the basses. You can play with the slip tool to get different positions. And then we can even create this cool reverse effect. So literally just taking the audio and then doing this fade here. Dude, that sounds sick. So that's the Crystallizer. Recently, me and my friends had a studio session, and here's a beat that we made in that session. It's funny because both of my friends, they were considering giving up on this beat until I introduced a plugin called Portal to one of the main sounds, and their minds were blown, just like I was when I first discovered this plugin. Once again, this is another granular effects plugin, and here's the sound, by the way. And I found this one preset, edited it a little bit, and we got this. And the best way to use this plugin, once again, is to automate the mix knob. Let's apply this to the main lead. That sounds pretty cool. So let's automate the mix knob. That sounds pretty cool. So as you can tell, some of these plugins are very good for rising tension like this. They introduce a different texture into the lead or whatever it is that you're using. So what if we introduce this glass breaking sound and then apply Portal to it? I think that's pretty creative. I think I'm going to use this preset. You can create your own, and I've done it before, but I think it's faster if I just use presets in this video. Okay, so I just want to render this out really quick. That is sick. That's a really unique transition right there. I haven't really heard anybody do that before. Interesting. I might save this in a sample pack for later. It's really cool. This is a very classic granular synthesis plugin, and this plugin is amazing for textures, ambient sounds, and stuff like that. And so here I dragged in an entirely produced track. I'm going to turn the filter off, turn the output up, and let's see how it sounds. Whenever we increase the random on the grains and maybe the position, some really cool stuff. Really interesting Porter Robinson Flume type sound design. And it's just a matter of playing around with these parameters. There's a bunch of different stuff that you can go into here, but I'm just going to keep it simple for this video. Sounds pretty cool, so let's render that out really quick. And what if we apply a portal onto this Quanta generated sound? And apply a respace. Wrong note. And obviously this texture sounds very random, so if we want to control the rhythm of it a little bit, we can apply something like this trance gate. That's really cool, and I think we should try and add some more layers to this. So the last method or plugin I'll show you is just Fruity Granulizer. And for example, I'll literally just look up acapella in my samples. I'll choose this one. And it's essentially the same thing as Quanta, just a lot more simple. So we could play around with these parameters here and see what happens. The key here is the random knob. And you can increase the panning knob to get more of a wide sound. So let's render this one out again. Let's apply some reverb to kind of wash it out, and then we'll apply something to control the rhythm. That sounds beautiful. Kind of want to push these down just by one semitone. Anyway, we could play around with this all day, but I applied a low pass filter and now you have a very epic sounding intro for a track. Possibilities are endless. So as you can tell, you can get insanely creative with granular synthesis. You can do a ton of textures and really just take your music to the next level. Definitely try and experiment, especially if your DAW has a granular synthesizer built into it, so like a stock plugin. There's so much that you can do with it, and that's why it's one of my favorite methods of sound design. So I really hope I inspired you with it. Make music now and you'll thank yourself later. Peace.